Heyo.
Yo.
What's
What's
going
up?
on?
Monday.
Monday. Mellow Monday.
We're back.
You know the vibes. You know
You
the
know
vibes.
yeah, you do. And we got little backings now.
Yeah. And we've had to have done almost close to 300 episodes at this point, and we still can't do the screen point correctly.
I got it. I feel like I got it. Like I just don't know how to point. There you go.
I can't even sing songs at the same time because I have to focus so hard on just fucking pointing in the right direction.
Another week. Though, yes, I know. I'm more acquainted with being able to move and still have my thought process going at some points because many years of doing that. But yes, it's a new week, Monday. Last week was hot as fuck.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say last week was Monday. It's like you're not wrong.
Last week there was a Monday, and then it proceeded to get hot. I don't know where you live, what you're doing, or but I know that was one of the big talking points across the world was that we were all experiencing like a real fucked heat wave.
Yeah. Now the backgrounds, it feels even more appropriate.
It does, man.
Yeah.
Somebody let out.
I feel hot just streaming on it.
Somebody let out a tweet or something saying, pretty soon we're gonna have names for heat waves.
Oh, shit.
Like that's how common a heat wave is nowadays. Pretty soon we'll just have a name for it, like heat wave air and coming in hot. Sheesh.
Yeah, early sheesh. I don't do the heat, man.
No, I mean, like I like it. I love this opposed to the ice in the winter time. Don't get me wrong. But when I look and it says it's like 101 is a high temperature, just a regular 101 degrees Fahrenheit, I die a little bit on the inside.
I don't know, man. I like a good, like, we've had some really great days. Like, I love summer mornings. Like even today, like this morning was very cool outside. Like
I feel like
Saturday
was like the perfect day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it was like 80, 85 maybe as the high, 84, 85, and it got down into like 54, 52 at night. That was
beautiful. That was a beautiful day. Yeah, Saturday was a beautiful day. So warmth is okay. Heat, I do not do. I do not fuck with heat.
It was interesting because I was hanging with my sister last Tuesday night, and I made the comment. I'm like, the sky doesn't even look blue right now. Like it's like white because we're being cooked in a fucking oven. I feel like out here. sorry for. I'm gonna get real emotional when we're talking about the heat because it does suck.
Yeah,
because it's like I want to go outside.
Honestly bring on the ice age again. I think I could handle it. I think it's because I'm a very woolly person as it is. Like I feel like I'd fare well for at least a little bit.
I mean, we could very well be getting to that point. You never know. There's in some places they were telling people that they can, like, advising people not to go outside. Like, don't do that. It's too hot.
I wouldn't. You don't have to tell me. If I see it's 100 degrees outside, I'm just not going to go outside. You don't have to tell me not to do it. I just won't do it.
No, it's crazy, man. It's crazy looking at this heat. I can't remember it being like this hot. And besides like El Nino, I went through El Nino when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember that. Maybe then it was like this hot, this quick, but I don't remember it being like 101. Oh, that's the high temperature tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think this week chilled out a little bit, but not much. I know it was. No. It had a 100-degree day, but I think it's down at like 98 now. Shout outs to Nick Lachey, 98 degrees.
Goodness gracious. What a deep cut.
It is a deep cut, man. That just shows you my age.
Two in the first 5 minutes.
Jeez, we're on one today. Cause we're talking about the state of the and even with the state of the world, man, and in the heat, talking that alone, even dealing with your mental health, like that, that comes into effect, effect. Holy moly, it's Chase and Shep.
Holy moly. It's Randomation Studios and he's commenting.
Live on Chase and Shep. Live on a Monday night. 6 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. Yeah. You should give us a like.
Look at you. Look at you doing the legwork.
But yes, no, like man, I remember like last summer when my air conditioner was fucking up, and all that stuff, and going a couple days in that blistering heat without it, man. It's like I can't see how
Yeah.
people fucking made it through last week if they didn't
Yeah.
have air conditioning. I just
I
don't see it.
yeah. I don't know. It's definitely. I I always say I keep my place in icebox, man. You know this to be true, and I prefer it that way. Bell bitches about it all the time, and I'm just like, yo, if you're that cold, step outside for like 15 seconds. You will be good to go. Opening the door, getting that heat blast. Because what's also nice about it, keeping it this cold in here, is that the journey from the house to the car, it's going to feel really nice outside because you're so cold that the extreme heat feels kind of nice. It's thawing you out, at least to the car, and then by that point, you can turn the AC back on, unless you don't have AC in any of these places, which just sucks.
It does.
It truly is. Yeah, I
People
feel
are
like
not. Well, see, people
in
were
the
telling me
future,
I was mad last week because I actually kept my air conditioner at about 74 degrees, and they're like,
you're
"Oh,
a madman. You're a
see,"
madman.
but it's like, dude, bro, it was a heat index of 111 fucking degrees outside. That is like a
Yeah,
40-degree difference. It's gonna slap regardless. Like right now, I've got sweatpants on. I even thought before we go live, like maybe I should put a sweatshirt on. And it's 74 degrees in my house right now. Like, I don't know.
keep it at a crisp 69 degrees, and not because I'm childish,
Nice.
but because
Nice.
I prefer it. It's the optimal for me because I swear to God, I have like that dad sense with the thermostat. I feel like I know if the temperature has changed from 69 to 70 degrees. Like even when I like set it and I just have like the temporary for 69 and it goes back to 70, I will feel the fucking change in the room. I will know it has happened because it's
Right.
just like I'm sweating, I'm uncomfortable. It happened, I think, either last Monday or the Monday before when we were doing the show. It switched to 70 while we were doing the show, and I could feel it. I started sweating. I was like, man, I can't wait for this to be over. I'm dying right now.
I don't know. Being comfortable is a good thing. That's where it's at. I know a lot of people's energy bills are up like 50% like, this year,
Yeah.
thanks inflation. So that's why I'm playing it cool. I ain't trying to get bit in the ass for my shit like constantly running or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah,
I
74 is
just, yeah.
fine. Fuck
That's
it.
what, but my thing is, I'll keep it constantly running rather than have it turn on and off again. My logic might be flawed there, but I feel like
I just keep a fan.
I wish my body didn't run that hot.
Yeah. No,
It
I
would
know.
probably
I know.
save me a lot of money,
No,
but
I
it
know.
saves me a lot of money in the winter because like that way I know come summertime I have more money that I have to pay in bills than I do in the winter time because
That's true.
you know. So I
I
always get to look forward to that back half of the year, especially like right now I'm working a job that's seasonal, so it's like in the winter time you're not working as much. Well, I'm gonna save on bills in the winter time, be
I
able
see.
to
I
cut
feel
back
like I
on
keep
stuff.
my house pretty much the same in the winter. Like I just switch to heat and it's like 74 degrees. It's like I'm like a plant, bro. Like it's like I need the same temperature year round. Like he needs to be right here in this climate year round and he's
Yeah.
groovy.
I will say that like working outside more recently and having to be out in that heat, like there is something a little nice about it. Getting some sun. I took a nice little summer nap today. Those ones where the sun is just like you're taking
Well,
it,
see,
man. You're
where I'm
going to sleep.
working, I'm dealing with the heat, but I'm not in the sun. But I'm still
Right.
dealing with the
See, and
fucking
that's the
heat.
fucking worst.
Yeah.
Bro, that's actually, that's pretty accurate. I will deal with the heat if I get to work outside in the heat, but if I have to be inside a hot place, fuck all that.
Yeah, dude, it's like a fucking sauna and then fucking just smell the trash, Of course, the trash
Yeah,
can's right out back of where I'm at, so and it's
yeah.
cooking, it's cooking right now too. All that dairy stuff they throw away, it's just
Mhm,
rotten out there. It's like, dude, this fucking it's like, God,
yeah.
this sucks.
I've I've really appreciated the past few days, like the heat a little bit, like just the warmth. and working outside too. Like having a job that allows me to be outside like that, it
Yeah.
feels rewarding in its own ways, because it's like we're literally you get to be outside in this nature every day. It's a golf course, so it's beautiful. It's kept up. It's what we do. But like just the few days I've worked there so far, there's you see all these animals all the time. I saw like a straight up, just like a baby deer, like a tiny ass baby deer. One of my first days there, saw a turtle today. And it's just like little things where it's like, people could give a shit, but it's like, nah, it's kind of cool.
Shout outs
Like
to Bambi.
I'm saying, just like that. It's kind of rad. There's always little fucking. I've seen all sorts of little baby animals out there, like all sorts of shit. I'm like, this is cool. This is rad. Get to be out in the trees and all that shit. It's good for you, for sure, and I get to be out there early in the morning, and it just kinda it's been something that's made me slow down a little bit the past few weeks
I
and
vibe with that.
appreciate things a little more. I feel like that's I know I need to get back out in nature a little bit more when I start feeling like I don't appreciate things, or
Yeah.
I'm taking things for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "You know what? I gotta go be
I
outside
mean,
more."
last summer we were out in nature for a good chunk of it. So,
Yeah, as a
is it-
1 year, uh, yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah, 1 year
I
ago
don't.
from
I don't
yesterday.
believe I ever made it out that first time.
No. So it was 1 year ago for me, but
For you.
also the start of the whole production as well.
Yeah.
So
We had our little hiccup with the camera because it was hot as fuck. So I guess it does
yeah,
track
it
out.
was yeah.
I guess it does track out. Maybe I'm just dumb.
Last year the cicadas were around too. So
Yes, yes, they were. They were coming up in their 17 years or some shit, right?
yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Something around
yeah.
there. I don't know.
It
I'm not a
was it
cicada
was the year
expert,
we decided to film something with no audio equipment.
but I think it helped. I think it helped the ambiance.
For sure. It definitely
Um,
helped the fear level for some of our actors.
I would much rather go back to the pricings of last summer. I feel like last summer, if I could have my money now, last summer it would slap.
Mhm.
Feel like it would have been worth more.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because that is a thing too. I was talking to you a little bit about it earlier that I was seeing today was like a cattle person. They was talking about it and
Mhm.
stuff, and they were like, oh man, because a lot of people keep saying, man, the price of meat's fucking crazy right now. Like,
Mhm.
damn, and it is. I wanted
It
to.
is, yeah.
I wanted to have a steak yesterday. It was Father's Day. Shout outs to all the dads. Uh, I was like, fuck it, man. I wanna grill out a steak, man. I'm hungry. And I went by the store and Jesus fucking Christ, everything was sorry. Uh but everything was like $20, man. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? I don't want to pay $20. And then
Yeah.
like I noticed everything was like packaged in like 4 packs and stuff. And it's like, what if it's just one of me, man? I don't want to get one of these with a big old bone in it. Uh and it's crazy, yeah. So this morning I was watching a video of, a cattle person, and they was all like, talking how, well, all this stuff, that I use to feed my cattle and, raise these cattle and stuff like that. Everything's gone up so much since last summer in price that they're like, yo, like once these baby calves and stuff start going to the slaughterhouse, like you should be expecting to see stuff at like $17 a pound and like meat up at $25 a pound. Yo, what
Hey,
up? Alpha Raid. Um,
Dutch, Lupa, Freddie,
but yeah, it's real
Yendis,
crazy to start thinking about
Nasty,
that and
Cherry, Lupa
to
again,
because I've steady, like with my job, I've got to like very
Alpha.
slowly see people over the years.
I'm
Um,
definitely not hearing your story right now,
yeah, I know
Shep,
you're not.
because
You're just vibing with
everybody's
me.
everybody's walking in.
I
Let
feel
everybody
that.
come in.
But I'm gonna keep rambling because we can talk about this for a
You can
while.
keep going.
I've been in my job watching these prices rise over the last 12
Hello
years
there.
about. What up, Dutch the Viking? Last 12 years. And it's always been really slow. Things went up like, 10 cents here.
I'm
Uh
Chase.
And Shep.
and he's Shep. I got it on the first try. That's fucking Shep. I don't have a tattoo with my name on
I got
it.
branded when I was 18. But I was like, I'm marketing myself.
The state of the world. What a huge topic. Yeah,
Oh, the
we're
world's crazy. We're just barely getting into it. We're talking about, the meat industry is about to boom. And it sucks,
yeah,
man. I grew up such a picky eater too. Uh
yeah. You are too. Yeah.
right there, Shep. Um but yeah, I grew up such a picky eater that it's like I can't stray away
Hello,
from
Alpha.
meat. Doing good. I guess all things considering,
Yeah,
doing pretty good. Doing pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. But the other two, yes, they were guests. We worked with them on some of our film stuff. We were filming for their show in Memphis, Tennessee, uh, and they were our guests on our last Mental Health Monday before we became Mellow Monday.
Yeah, we need to get some guest rolling for the future coming up. Some peeps to talk
Yeah,
to. That'd be pretty dope.
yeah. Well, they taught me how to DM them on Twitch now, so now I can hopefully arrange to have a couple of people on the show.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Um
Nah, you ain't dumb. It happens. It makes sense.
Chase and Shep. There's a lot of weird things people search up. Like
Chase and
There's
Shep and Alex and Dave that day as well.
Chase and Chomp. There was one, I think.
Yeah, Chase and Sean. Yeah,
Shout outs to them. I don't know them,
we
but
need
hey,
to make an appointment to have. Yes, we do.
let's do that.
We
Let's do
will.
that.
We'll make
Book
it
it.
happen.
Book it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, they taught me how to send the messages on Twitch now, so now I can actually. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, how do I send a message? I tried to email you, but I don't know if that was the proper email. So I'm old
My
school like that though, because I'm not on social media. So other than
my
this, I
my
suppose.
my grandfather says that text messages, that's what he calls them, emails. He's like, I sent you an email the other day. I'm like, you sent me a text,
I,
man.
I love that.
I caught myself thinking that today or so, recently. I was like, shoot off a little email here, and I was sending a text, and I was like, God, my man. He actually, so cool. I guess a cool story I could talk about. Last Tuesday when we went into my grandfather went on a flight. He was in the way
Oh
back in the Navy in like the 50s and stuff. And they always over here they take veterans to Washington D.C. They fly him over there. And my sister hit me up and she's like, "Yo, we got to come over here and watch Grandpa fly back in," and all these older guys. And a lot of them, I never knew. Like she was telling me when we went over there, a lot of them never got like homecomings when they came back from their fights or whatever, because there's like
yeah,
Vietnam people,
yeah.
which, we just kind of just stopped that one as far as I know. That's what at least that's what our history book said, but it's like, I feel like we lost that one. Uh, but yeah, and they never got them, and all that stuff. So all these old dudes, they got their homecomings and stuff. So there's like a lot of people gathered, probably like 200 people gathered at this little airport, and we just was cheering these dudes on when they flew in on their plane. It's pretty dope. That was pretty
That's
dope.
dope.
Cool. It was pretty
That's
cool.
nice.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was pretty jazzed when he saw us there. He's like, "Oh, okay,
I
cool."
bet that made him feel good.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah. I was,
I love that.
they were saying something with me. I was like, one of these days I'll get my honor flight. I was like, when I get old and stuff, I'm sure they'll include me in it. It's like I
Right,
think I'm
don't
too
get long.
young right now. They're like,
Who's left?
he can pay for his own flight.
That's awesome. It's so wholesome. I love it.
It is. It was very wholesome. My mother went out there with him. That's her father and stuff. So I got to spend the day with him. So that was really cool. Uh, like I said, I
Yeah.
cruised over with my sister. We drove back. The strawberry moon was that night. The full moon, officially summer.
Yeah. The moon had been crazy this past week as well. That was also just another one of those nature things the past few weeks that I just, has made me stop and just like take it in. Wow.
Becoming
Yeah.
a becoming a straight nature boy, huh?
I always am. Like I said, that's my go-to to really recharge. Like if I can tell something just feels out of whack, like it's like I need to go unplug and just spend a minute outside. I love all
I
that
love
shit.
being outside, man. It's
Yeah,
nice. I love it. I really do. We ain't got too much outside here in Illinois, but you know,
yeah.
we get what we can get.
When I was in Memphis doing the show with the other two guys, uh, it really made me miss Tennessee's like trails and stuff. I loved their trails. Such beautiful hiking trails and stuff like that. I'm a big hiker, walker. So
And I feel like this all
love it.
ties into our topic today of the state of the world. And when you were looking at mental health, to me, that's my way. That's my way to escape it because it's to connect back with nature.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
everything everywhere is going to crap.
Right.
I said
We just did the show
inflation.
backwards, is
I
what we
I
did.
I finally I saw a meme today. I meant to share it on Facebook and I didn't, but I loved it because it's like, man, everybody over here wants to point fingers at this person or that person. It's this government person, it's that government person. But this
Yeah.
meme said, in the United States, we got a left government with high inflation. Yeah, nice Spider-Man. Yeah, that's how we are. It says in the UK right now they got a right government, high inflation. Germany has a centralist government and high inflation, and Italy has everyone in government with a high inflation. So maybe it's not the governments; it's these fucking rich CEO. No, they didn't say that thing. They say maybe it's not the governments, but
Right.
I don't know. Over here, it's still like, yeah, but they could say, hey, stop that. They could do that. Help us out down here. This
Yeah.
is getting
Help out the
ridiculous.
little people.
Help me out, man.
Yeah. Shit is getting expensive. In a way, that kind of makes me glad that like over the past few years, I've just kind of like learned how to live a simpler life. Just kind of hacking away at things, um, and just being happy with minimal stuff. Because then, like when shit like this happens, I'm a little unfazed. It's like it is what it is. You know.
I hope, man. I hope it does.
I mean, I hope it stays in that realm. I'd hate to get to a point where I have to start stressing hard because there's definitely things I'm not a fan of. The gas prices. This is us. Like this is the oldest version of us. This conversation today, we're talking about the weather, the world.
No, I feel that,
We're
but like,
we're just two old men in rocking chairs on the
but
porch
it's
right now.
it's when you're looking at like, like what we're doing. I'm doing music. You're
Yeah,
doing filming. We're making streams. We're trying to do it. You
yeah,
know, you look at the world, especially just like money and everything, how expensive it is. It's like, man, a lot of people are like, it's risky. You know what I'm saying? That's a risky
yeah.
move to make. Trying to make a living that way.
No,
Like,
yeah,
and that can be scary, man. And then that can play
yeah,
into your mental health. That can get you depressed. You could be, I feel like everyone that I know is on edge lately. You know what I'm saying? Just like really high tense stress, especially like at work and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, the heat will do that too
Well, I'm
to
saying
people.
I mean, like I said, everything's expensive as shit. So like, it's
The
like, man,
climate everywhere,
don't want to keep eating,
political,
but I'm hungry.
natural.
I've been trying to learn lately how to like, I feel like over here we have like a portion. Like to me, my biggest thing is like a portion thing. Like if I get down
Hmm.
and eat smaller portions to where I can buy this 4 pack of meat and that's enough to have like 4 meals out
Right.
of,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
be like, oh, I'm still hungry because I ate too many candy bars growing up.
Yeah. There's definitely so I feel that recently, like I definitely slipped up with my eating habits
Oh,
recently
I
and
do
started falling
bad.
back into because that's exactly what it is. It becomes like a portion control thing where it's like I'm eating so much that my stomach starts to expand again. But it's like I know I've done it before that you can reverse that flow and make your stomach start getting a little smaller with that portion control and stuff.
Mine
It's
are
like, but
candy
it's that
bars,
matter
bro.
of candy bars. Mine's like breakfast foods. I feel like is the biggest thing for me. I'm a sucker for breakfast, dude.
Mine's candy bars, bro. And the Baja Blast. The Mountain Dew just put the Baja Blast back
Yo,
out. So fuck.
yo, can we talk about that pineapple Baja Blast? You want to talk about a way to take care of your mind? and just your well-being. If you really want to mellow out, this one right here. Hold on. Where's our oh anyways, this is a mellow out moment. But I'm not telling it I'm saying mellow out dude to everybody right now.
I
And
know we
get
have a.
yourself there we go. Mellow out moment. Get yourself a pineapple Baja Blast Mountain Dew and just
Do
crack
they
one of
even
those
have
things.
that overseas? I don't think they do.
I don't know, but if they do, get you one.
Whenever I was
If
in
you have a
Europe,
friend in America, have them send you one
whenever
because
I was in Europe, they had like lemon Pepsi.
it's
I
nice.
remember that.
Oh damn, they don't have it
Let
in
me see. There
Germany.
you go.
Somebody
Yeah,
send
let's
Luca the
see.
Mountain Dew.
We got it over here, and I got the ins with the Mountain Dew guy, and he said he'll let me know when their warehouse gets the
Oh,
final
see,
supply.
please do because I do want one more of those. That was so good. It was the smoothest like drink. I was like, this is Baja Blast perfect.
See, I had the mango one, the
The
mango
mango one.
gin.
See, I tried the mango one after the pineapple one. I'm like, not the same. Not the same.
I just didn't like it. I like the one
Don't
they
really
did.
like the mango.
I like the one they did last summer, the Baja Punch. I think it was.
I don't think I had that one.
It was an orange Baja, but it was like last summer. It was more of a punch.
Yeah.
But the OG,
My mom the other
the
day.
illest, the realest Baja Blast is where I stand. And these are bad. You know what? These have 44 grams of sugar in them.
That's I mean,
That's a lot of
I
sugar,
felt like
bro.
we were going off topic, but we're still on topic because we were talking about food and health and shit like that.
That's a
And yeah,
lot, dude. No,
yeah,
that is actually one of the topics in
Dr.
this thing.
Pepper or nothing. If
Dr.
my best
Pepper,
friend was here
okay.
right now, he'd absolutely agree with you.
Well,
I would
twisted
say it's
cherry.
23 flavors. Why do you need any more? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I was
you're
gonna
just
say
ingredient test.
I like the cherry Dr. Pepper myself. So obviously
Sure, it
they
makes
did
sense.
need one more flavor for my liking, Chase.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. The missing ingredient.
But like that is a lot of sugar, man. That is a lot of sugar
Yeah.
in a can. And it does. Like I said, I was reading something this morning that was saying there's a lot of crap they're putting in our stuff, like day-to-day life stuff that is lowering men's sperm count in America. So that is an issue. That is an issue now we're facing.
Conspiracy theory or no? You decide.
It's not. Well, I mean,
I feel
honestly,
like the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm down for a conspiracy theory. I'm like, that sounds right. You know, like I'm like, yeah, the government's, yeah, it's all of it.
if you
Yeah.
were down for a conspiracy theory, we should have talked this whole episode on what I first pitched you to, that we should
The
talk
new
about
Pepsi.
today.
I believe that. I haven't tried it, but I've seen it on the shelves. My mom
Yeah,
gets
see,
on me all the time about like the energy drinks and stuff, but I'm not like I won't like pound back Red Bulls and shit. Like I like my soft spot is the fucking Monster Java thing, the coffee one. What is it?
overpopulation and all
Yeah,
that. I mean, fair point. That's what I was gonna say. Like,
yeah.
I already had
They could
one.
just ask. No, I'm just kidding.
I already have one kid. He's 15, so I'm cool with a low sperm count at this point. Like, we're all fine with that over here. I ain't trying to have another one, but to some people that are, maybe that's a shocker. I'm sure it is the energy drinks though, bro. Like, cause come on, like
Yeah, this shit's fucked up.
the same. You can get this Mountain Dew right here, and I only knew this because I saw it. And the energy drink of that, which
Mhm.
tastes the exact same, has 4 grams of sugar in it,
Yeah,
compared to that 44 in the actual soda.
Alpha said, "You talk for yourself." To Lucas comment. That's fine. The processed food here in America, yes, that's absolutely correct.
There's
I
a
agree.
lot, man. There's a lot over here that, yeah, it's crazy even to look at the differences when you're buying like fruits and vegetables at the store compared to like if you
Mhm.
buy direct from the farmer, like from the, even like the little few days, maybe a month if they're storing it somewhere different. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Tastes so much better fresh.
Um, I was gonna say on their show, everybody in the comments right now, Alpha and Viendas and Cherry, um, on their show that they were doing before this, they were talking on Pride Month and stuff, and we were talking labels a little bit. And I kind of want to bounce off something that was discussed over there, but like people when they try to be vegan or vegetarian or something, when somebody brings that up, the judgment that comes with that, like it's something again of like if you're trying to be yourself, or if you're trying to better yourself, or in some way or something like that, and people will give you a hard time about it. They're just like, what? Oh, you're not going to eat meat anymore and all this shit. And it's like because I've thought about it multiple times, like going the vegan route or just a more plant based diet. And immediately people like jump down my throat. I'm like, I'm not saying I'll never have a burger again or something. I got a soft spot for chicken, man. Like that'd be hard habit to break. But I know it's doable. But at the end of the day, it's for health. It's for I'm vegan now for 3 weeks, and I'm often scared to mention it. Yeah, I brought it up like the first time I tried. I brought it up to my grandmother, and she was like, "Why?" Like like she was just very like Thanksgiving was coming up, and she's just like, "Well, what are you gonna eat?" All this other shit. I'm just like,
I
just
don't know, man.
and it gets
Well,
to be
see,
a lot.
I come from a time. Now I'm sounding old. I come from a time.
Well, no,
Uh, Not like me and all my homies back when we was growing up. We were like fuck labels, fuck wanting to be in a group, a label.
hmm
I'm myself. I'm an individual. So that would probably bother me. Like I said, I couldn't stop eating meat just because
yeah,
of how picky I am. But if I did stop eating meat and people are like, "Oh, so you're a vegetarian now?" It's like, no, didn't say that. I just have
I
decided
agree.
to stop eating meat. Like that's just what I'm doing. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah,
and we went over
I
that
agree.
topic.
That's what we were talking about over there. Is because I asked them the question of do you feel like labels are kind of harmful in a way? Like, do they divide us and put us into smaller boxes? And I agreed with what everybody was saying over there about they're helpful for people in identifying things in themselves and everything. But outwardly in the world, people will try to put you in a box because of that label. So it's more so about not listening to other people's opinions and not listening to other people tell you, oh, well, if you identify as this, you have to do these things.
Yeah, but you yourself can get caught up in thinking that within yourself
Right.
by
Yeah.
labeling yourself
hmm
instead of just looking at you as the true
hmm
I that you are.
Right.
And that's how I've always tried to do it is just look at me as I. Um,
Yes.
the characters that I've been throughout like my music career and stuff,
hmm
I've always done that. And yeah, and then I get fucking pissed.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, yo, there doesn't have to be a box. I created this box so I can
Yeah.
dissolve it.
I love that. I'm not scared to feel like people have to justify their eating habits. I feel like over there, uh, you also brought up having to justify your sexuality. And I think that's what it comes down to a lot of the time is people like make you feel like you have to justify your actions. But in reality, you don't. I know that's a big problem for me is like I constantly feel like I have to explain myself to people. Like I have to justify shit that I've decided
Well,
on behalf
see,
of
this
somebody
is
else.
actually really fun that you brought this up because I actually just watched this nice documentary. I went out on Saturday night, had a couple drinks at the old pub with some homies, and when I came home, I watched. I'm a big wrestling fan. Shout outs to Joey Janela. I got the bad boy Joey Janela on the shirt right now. But there was a wrestler, Chris Canyon. He was gay and he was in the 90s in wrestling at a time where if you were gay they were going to put you in a heel gimmick and make fun of you and all this kind of stuff, and to watch like him have those same struggles and all this stuff and like people wanting to justify it and this and that, and it's like, man, he gets to the point of being able to be comfortable to tell people this, and all the people in his life are like, yeah, okay, cool. So and then go over it, which ended up fucking with him. It was, oh man, it was deep, it was crazy. um RIP Canyon. He was good. I loved him as a kid. See, I really I liked it, and it was just like none of his personal life would have ever affected how I viewed him as the character. I still don't. At this point, it's like, oh, he was badass. He was great. Like he was actually like a really great wrestler. It's sad to hear about that struggle on the other side, but yeah, man, I don't, it's crazy, and it sucks being in a
Well, I feel
spot
like
like me. It's
there's
like,
some just
I've never had to
notifications
deal with
on.
that kind of stuff.
This is about who better? Oh, I'm assuming that's a wrestling thing.
Who better than Canyon? No one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh man, I loved him, man. Mortis, Mortis is what got me. If we're gonna side note Canyon, Mortis is what got me hooked. And when he came back as Canyon, especially when he was making fun of DEP, I loved that shit as a kid. I thought that was great, top notch.
Yeah, I don't want people to feel stressed just because I mention it. I feel bad, like with my seizures and stuff that I have, the anxiety and shit. That's one of those things where I don't bring it up unless I absolutely have to because of that. I don't want other people to feel stressed out about it or treat me, feel like they have to treat me a certain type of way because of it. So that falls under that umbrella of labels and the effects that they can have for sure.
There's a lot, man. Even when you're looking at the media, and the way even like Hollywood portrays that kind of stuff. I mean, you can start seeing
Hmm.
how society as a whole, falls back and acts like that. Like I was reading stuff about The
Yeah,
Boys and shit the other day. Um, Great show. But somebody was commenting on that. They're like, I wish they would just show like a homosexual relationship that's just normal, like nothing crazy. We don't have to just show like some crazy wild sex or something like that. Just is just like the other people,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be drama ridden. It doesn't have to, end in some oh my god and all that, and it's like, no, I vibe with that, man, for sure.
yeah,
Like the stories I've always tried to write and stuff have always been like that. Like literally any character I've tried to create, any person could step in and play, man or
yeah,
woman, no matter what. And it's like, no, the character would still be on point for you. Like I wouldn't go change it just because
yeah.
of some shit.
I agree. I agree. I uh, I like that for any sort of thing, like any sort of. For me, representation, that's it right there. It's like like showing it normal. Like that's not to say minority groups can't have their fun as well. Like there's just some crazy shit out there when it comes to film that you can do and TV and everything. But yeah, after a while, becoming a trope, like your identity becoming a trope on a show or a movie and becoming the stereotype, like it gets old, and it's so nice and refreshing to just see characters that are just normal people. Just the same thing with like the black or Latin communities. Like, does every movie we have to see in this community have to be about people dying on the streets and all this other shit, and like being a slave? Like, I think it's Snoop Dogg who's like, I'm sick of the slave movies. He's like, can we move on? We do more, you know.
No, it's a very fair point, man. It's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know. See some
I always
some
said one of the first times I got passionate about representation in media was, I'm a big Marvel fan, but back it was the comics when they first started doing like, okay, well now Sam is Captain America. Now we have a black Captain America. Now we have a female Thor. Now we have, and that felt wrong to me. That felt like, okay, this isn't representation. And I think that's why all of the characters I dig so much that are these newer characters who are diverse characters is because they're new. Somebody went out of their way to actually represent these cultures and create something new, and not just be like, oh, we'll just gender swap this or no, like give the people a hero that represents them. And that's not to say I love Sam as Captain America personally. I love me some Falcon and Winter Soldier. But you know what I mean? Like in the comic, like it just felt like a cop out. It felt like Marvel's always been good about becoming, like even now they're very good about representation and shit. But I feel like at first it was a little misguided. I just feel like they were doing it for the right reasons, but it just felt like the wrong approach.
No, I
Which is
get what you're saying. I think they've always had the great like different representations. Like X-Men was always a great title to
yeah,
show all kinds of represent everybody, basically every kind of person, even like I've gender neutral type of characters and all kinds of stuff was within the X-Men universe. I always really enjoyed that. That's why one of these, like me, it's like, man, let's just bring on the X-Men in these units. Like we can go for
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Just such a and that's usually how those characters were always represented too, was just who they were, I don't know.
yeah. I
It
feel
didn't
you.
matter, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It
And
was
you're like,
normal.
damn, they're
They were
all in
just
it.
normal. They were just X-Men, they were just people, Well, they were mutants, but whatever. What I mean. Back in the
And
day,
the world's
Supergirl
crazy
had a
because you got to
movie,
deal with that.
and I watched it as a kid.
What up, Ben?
Oh yeah,
That is
what
true.
up, dude?
Supergirl did have a movie back in the day. There was a lot. I remember the old Wonder Woman.
More
Shit.
mutants. That's right. Just your average everyday mutants.
Well, and that's I don't know, man. I think somewhere society gets it wrong. When you're a kid, you don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? You never look at it. But I feel like somewhere along the lines, I think like I said, the a lot of it's the forms of entertainment we digest and whatnot. I think that's what forms these weird society type of standards that are whack,
Yeah,
whack to say the least. But
definitely. I agree. Yeah, I think about that kind of stuff all the time, like within media, as with what we do, with the scripted stuff, with the film, with the music and stuff like that. Um, Lost my train of thought.
well, like I said,
Um,
I just love it because if I think of a character, I just think of a character. And
yeah, yeah,
anybody can slide up into that character. Anybody can own that character as their character. Like, and it's I don't know, man.
mm.
I get making specific type of things because I've made characters, but I don't know. I like leaving it open. I like leaving it open to somebody to own it.
I guess what I
You
was going
know,
to say was like, growing up, I love comedy. I mean, Phil and I have bonded over our humor, and we definitely consider ourselves to be comedians. But like, I love a good satire. I love a good joke. I believe everything can be joked about. There's a time and a place. But if you can't laugh at something, you're letting darkness win, evil win. Um, but sometimes like jokes will be made in movies and stuff that almost like diminish things in real life, like their quality in real life, which I think is disappointing sometimes because like you know there for a while like in movies like the joke would be like, oh, you go to therapy, like obviously the joke is new now, like they changed it for the times where it's like, oh, you go to therapy, like way more positive, like and open, but it would be like a joke, right? Or like the guy who busts out his guitar at a party or something, like that kind of thing, where it's like most of the time, like moments like that, things like that happen like that, are coming from like a good, wholesome place.
right?
But then you have movies, or even the vegan thing, or, like movies today will make a joke about like, oh, and he's vegan or something like that. And then in reality, it's like people have a harder time feeling like these are acceptable things. So then it's like it's a very difficult line between, you know, the joke and like the impact that, like, I don't want people to have to stop joking. Like I don't want humor to die. But then
I
there's that
just
impact that it has.
when you say that, I think of the 303 song where he's like, tell your boyfriend if he says he's got beef, I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him. I love that. Shout out
There's
to
definitely a time I consume more media than I actually talk to real life people, and it definitely affected me and warped my perception. Yeah, it'll definitely do that for sure, especially depending on what you watch. I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking about horror, and I think horror can be healthy, um,
right.
but there is that flip side that if you just steep yourself in shit like that, sometimes I know sometimes like for me, like after a while, especially depending on the horror movie, like if we're spending a whole month reviewing horror movies and they're schlocky and everything, shit, Can a vegan still go chicken hunting?
Oh yeah, they can. I feel like I get that.
Yeah, but if a horror movie is schlocky and fun, like I can watch those, almost every day. But like the real dark ones, like Hereditary or something like that, like that stuff, like I can't watch a lot of that stuff in succession because then it just feels like bad for my soul. You know what I mean? Like it starts bringing me down to like a dark place where it's like I need balance to that. Sometimes you got to be careful about what you steep yourself into, what rabbit hole you go down.
That's how I am with music. If I listen to a lot of like downer music, I'll start slipping into a funk.
Getting into like the comics more recently on things like, you know, I was thinking to myself like, yeah, I spend a lot of time in my mind in the Marvel universe. Like, is that unhealthy? And it's like, well, if there's going to be something I'm going to steep myself in, it might as well be this world of representation and hope and all this kind of shit.
I love that comment.
That with me. I easily and readily trust the hose. That's funny.
I'm going to put a star on that comment. I don't know what that does, but I put a star there.
You can star important comments so you remember to discuss them during the show. Well, that's nice. I wish I had known about that. I trust hosts.
I trust hosts. There we go. We can star that.
Somebody should run for office. I don't care what office, but somebody should run for office, and that should be their slogan. I trust hosts.
Chicken hunting depends on what we're referring to. I mean, obviously, I guess it would refer to hunting chickens, but it also refers to, I believe, like a 1995 Insane Clown Posse track, chicken hunting. Who's going chicken hunting? We's going chicken hunting.
I knew it had to be something like this because Dave directed it right at you. He said, whoop, whoop.
Oh, here, I clicked at the same time you did. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, no, that's a
hose in our chat. Hose be the theme today. New theme. We're talking hose.
We're talking hose.
You just sneak onto a farmer's land and hunt their chicken. I was gonna say like Chicken Run, but that's not what that movie was about.
Oh man, I haven't listened to that song in probably 15 years.
It's like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Heading down a southern trail, I'm going chicken hunting. Slashing redneck, chicken necks, I ain't saying. Basically, the song is about killing racist hillbillies. So who can't vibe with that?
And look at that. It fits the discussion. Amazing.
Yes.
Love it when you think you're going off topic and then it's like, nope, we're still there. We're still on the tracks.
Although I would say they had a hip hop version, they had a more rock version. They had a hip hop version, I believe, on Ringmaster, and then they came out with like a more rock version on the Riddle Box, and that's the one I.
Good night, Lupa. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, have a good night. Racist hillbillies can't vibe with that. Nope, can't. We can't vibe with them. Probably not gonna get along. They had the F Your Rebel Flag song on Carnival of Carnage back in the early 90s. So yeah, I mean, like those are the people that shaped my worldview when I was a teen growing up. So I just didn't like them. And now in 2022, I'm like, see, I was right. Like I had a reason not to associate. Not hating on it. Not everybody's like that though. Not everybody that's likes the Confederate flags and stuff is racist and stuff like that. Like, come on, we're generalizing here.
Right.
Sorry.
It happens, a little generalization, but a little generalization goes a long way, Shep.
I mean,
as we've learned this evening.
I feel like it's just awareness,
So, yeah.
We're going to talk more world issues. We can. Everest hikers, Everest hikers are moving their base camp because the glacier that they had the old base camp on is melting. faster than
Yeah,
expected. So
yeah,
they're moving that.
they're getting on out of there. It's a fucking heat wave. Magnets, how do they work? The Confederate flag has got to burn.
I had fallen off by them by the time the magnets thing came about, but I do remember that. I do remember that.
That's how they sound,
Um,
right?
I don't know, man.
Do you
World's
oppose
crazy.
jokes go too far but make a point? Um, I'd ask for example, but what if you go too far and they're like, "Ooh, it's too far," you know? Do you oppose jokes that go too far but make a point? Um, I mean, that depends. I mean, my thing with humor, with jokes, is uh, tact. Having tact about what you're talking about. Like, would you consider somebody like Dave Chappelle going too far? You know, because I feel like he makes a lot of good points, but I also think he's a very well-spoken, well thought individual. That you know, I feel like he's very thoughtful in his words. You know, and at the end of the day, they're also just jokes. But then you have people who are just jackasses who don't know how to wield the power of humor correctly and just say inappropriate things at inappropriate
Yeah, yeah,
times.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's hard. It's a craft. It really is. I feel like a craft to be able to go at it at a humorous standpoint, but not go in a very demeaning way towards
Yeah,
other people, and to bring a point. Yeah, you can use Dave Chappelle as an example, but that's kind of there is a lot of good points. I don't know. If it's a good point, it's a good point. And I feel like if a joke kind of makes you be like, "Oh," then it's a good joke, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
If you're like, "Oh, you got me."
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what comedians are for. They're the ones who talk things out that other people think all the time, but aren't going to vocalize,
I have a
and
very
that's what the
yeah.
comedian does, because I mean, you got to think a lot of comedians are not the happiest people in the world, quite the opposite, because they're very, their eyes are very open to the world. I feel like, and you got to be. I feel like a lot of the comedy I've ever gotten is from life, is from experience. Nothing's funnier than real life most of the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think when people I think when it's really about the manner is it's all brought up to me. Because
yeah,
there's a
is there
lot of
respect to the subject? Like,
yeah, and there's a lot of really really good examples in media of that, like of writers trying to write more realism into this stuff nowadays, but
mhm,
not like the boys. I feel like the boys really nails it the way they did it. And I was actually reading something on Reddit today about that when they were talking about, like the Starlight character in season 1, what happens to her character right at the jump. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And the way the boys write her character, that doesn't define her there going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She deals with it, she processes it, and she knows she's got to move forward and become
But it's
a,
not who
a,
she
a
is.
baller. Yeah, and it's not who she
Yeah,
is, and she can still
it's
establish new
something that happened to. Yeah,
relationships. Yeah, and they were like, giving the show like praise, like and stuff. Like most shows will turn that person that into that person's identity and it
mhm,
shows that that doesn't have to be your identity. So I really think it's about how they go about like the tactical approach. And some writers can really nail real life, what's really going down in a way
mhm.
that you can be like, "Oh shit, yeah, okay, damn."
And sometimes we need that reminder to not be so serious about things. You know,
Andrew Dice Clay.
his culture ruined his career, but he's one of the greats. It's true.
I
It's
don't
true.
know.
I've seen enough shorts and TikToks to know that comedy was a mistake. Actually, see, my thing is, like some of the TikToks that you've covered on your YouTube, Randy. That's not comedy. That's people who have no tact. That's people who have no comedic talent. That's people who do jackassery things, but not like the jackass guys. That's comedy. That's some funny shit because it's all respectful, in its own way.
A
Of
great
of
exa
the of
a great example, I'd love to bring up my son, and give him a little shame here,
hell
publicly
yeah,
on our channel.
public
S
shaming.
He got caught recently throwing eggs at, an old couple. Him and his
Mm,
friends throw eggs, and it's like everybody's like, "Okay, well, eggs, that's kind of funny." It's like, but old people, it's not. Like my grandpa, he's some buying through eggs at him, I'd be hunting for blood. All right, that's my
yeah, yeah,
man's. So it's one of those like that's tactless, that's tacky, that's stupid, that's immature. But now you cover
yeah,
your friend with something sticky like feathers, and then drop a thing of eggs on one of your friends, play a prank on somebody who's in on the joke and laughing with you. Now
yeah,
we're in the comedy section. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, okay,
yeah,
now
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great
yeah.
exampabout.
I love it.
And Carson,
That
we're
is a
gonna have to
great
talk.
example.
I'm gonna have a talking with you on Friday.
Hell yeah. Talking about the stand-ups I see. Yeah, I don't watch much stand-up these days, but that's why comedy is dying on the vine. So unfortunately,
It is. I mean, I don't know.
should we
It's
close
one.
out with some?
I feel like it's gonna be one of those that goes back to like live shows.
My 7-year-old tries to egg my sister. That's funny.
That is funny though. It's like that. Like that's funny. Like if he hit me with eggs, him and his friends, I'd laugh. Okay, depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm in the middle of going to work or something, I'd be like, "Oh my goodness!" But
So a zillion comedians are just shorts on their crowd work, and I'm like, but do you do funny or just crowd work? You know?
I mean, I feel that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think it's gonna go back to like being more less streamed and more like alive in person
yeah.
is gonna be because it's gonna
Comedy's
be one
going
of
on.
those.
Something that my mind
If
keeps
you
coming
want to
back
be there,
to
you're gonna be there. What's that?
that during this whole conversation today, this whole episode, um, is the punk community. I feel like all roads lead back to the punks because like I feel like that's where you're yourself. Like you were talking about earlier about the labels. It's just like fuck it all. You know what I mean? It's very against the grain. It's just being yourself. Very anti-style. And I
Punk
feel like it
rock. When
all just comes right back to that.
I got into that a lot when I was younger, so that is one of those. Yeah,
There's definitely.
anti-establishment, be yourself.
Mhm.
Very much so. What's your mellow out moment though? You popped it up.
I did, yeah. We're getting about that time, so I figured we'd wrap up with some mellow out moments. Um, mellow out moments. Um, I don't know if I have anybody in particular I
You
think
had
needs to
you
mellow
had
out.
one earlier. I forget what it was.
Did I? Oh,
We
the
popped
mellow.
it up.
We did. We told. Oh, that no, that was a mellow out moment brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Oh.
That's what that was. Yeah, mellow out moment. Let's see here. What do you have anything? While I think on it,
I would say I don't have anything in particular. Well, I guess.
it doesn't have.
Well, no.
I guess it doesn't have to
Um,
be at somebody, but maybe just for a mellow out moment. Earlier, I was talking a lot about being out in nature and stuff. So take out a little bit of your time to go out in nature and reconnect with yourself and just mellow out.
dude,
Take a moment for yourself to mellow out.
mellow out, dude. Um, I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say take a moment, find yourself some mellow out. So for my hashtag mellow out moment this week, I'm gonna say wrestling, IWC community, mellow out, son. Like, can we mellow out? Like, not them in particular, but can wrestling just mellow out, man? So much has happened in the past couple weeks. It's hard to keep up with it, dude. It's hard to keep up with it. Vince McMahon stepped down as CEO of WWE the other day.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that.
some allegations that are just nasty to read and hear about came out against him. So good riddance. Uh,
Yeah,
hopefully the truth comes to light with that kind of stuff. Yeah, just so much, dude. Just too much, bro. So it can mellow out. Although I'm about to go watch some wrestling. So, ayo. It's big. It's big night. It's a big night. My man Elias is supposed to come back tonight. And I'm hyped.
I'm hyped for you.
Thank you. I'm gonna put my Elias t-shirt on. I'm getting ready. Well, after I cook, I'm gonna cook some expensive meat.
Some expensive meat because all this inflation and shit.
That could be a mellow out. Hey, mellow out, CEOs. We can only fucking afford so much, boys. Okay.
Right.
President Biden,
taking a beating.
You can put a freeze to this, okay?
Let's bring back that.
You can put
government checks.
He can put it. He can put a freeze it. He can freeze it. They said Nixon did it. Let's do it. Okay, freeze the fucking money. It's like we need it. We need it to stop, son, so we can live. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today.
That's pretty much
it. Thanks for joining us. That's all I got.
Having all kinds of conversation. Yeah, man. Just find us out. ChaseandShep.com. Mondays are for the mind. I just ordered my t-shirt. Order your t-shirt soon.
Right. Spread the Chase and Shep fire.
Who wants to walk with Leonidas? I'm really interested to see. I'm popping that up. I'm okay. Johnny Ace, he can go to hell too with Vince McMahon. But I'm interested to see how they're gonna do the Elias thing, because I don't know if people watch wrestling. Elias rebranded himself. He is Ezekiel. I am gonna speak with Zeke later. As he says. He shaved. He had a nice, beautiful beard. He shaved. I don't know how they're gonna pull it off, but somehow Ezekiel and Elias will both be there tonight, and it's the same person, unless he's a twin and nobody knows it. I will mark out. I will be a mark for it.
Exciting stuff. All right. I'm hitting you with the strings.
Deuces and deuces. Like I said, ChaseandShep.com. I ordered my t-shirt. Go order your t-shirt.
Thank you, Randy.
Love you, Randy.
Love you. See ya. Peace.
Bye.